First, I would like to start by accepting the amendments described in the committee analysis and thank the committee staff for their work on this bill. AB 721 will establish the Huron Hawk Conservancy, supporting the development of projects to protect the natural environment and provide economic, educational, and recreational benefits to local communities in West Fresno County, an area near the city of Huron. The city of Huron is a small, historically underserved community, home to many low-income farm workers where harsh environmental conditions and limited economic opportunities have made life a challenge. The area struggles with the shrinking agriculture industry, poor air quality, and a lack of accessibility to nature-based educational and recreational opportunities. North of the city of Huron stands the St. Louis River Detention Basin, a vacant 3,000-acre plot of unusable farmland home to a multitude of flora and fauna, and more importantly, an opportunity to provide ecological and recreational benefits to a local community eager to improve their area. However, there's an absence of any central authority to coordinate and manage funding for projects in this region. One option for providing this authority would be through the establishment of a conservancy. Conservancies act as a facilitator for projects to protect and improve local wildlife and plant life, in addition to providing open recreation spaces for the enjoyment of the public. Their boards are composed of a combination of state officials and local community leaders working collaboratively to ensure their conservation efforts reflect the needs of the surrounding community and support local wildlife. AB 721 will provide these benefits to the West Fresno County region by establishing the Huron Hawk Conservancy to facilitate projects for the betterment of the natural environment and the provision of recreational spaces for the public. With me today, we have here to testify in support is Mayor of Huron, Ray Leon, who also is Executive Director of Valley Leap.
Well, good afternoon. What else can I say? She said it all. Other than Huron is a community of hardworking farm workers. I call our families the food chain keepers of not just the state, but the country. 15-mile radius within our city. From our city, 80% of the garlic is harvested. You know, in the summer, we have onion, every type, cantaloupe, watermelon, tomatoes. 1 out of every 3 ketchup containers comes out of our tomato paste factory, 2 miles outside of Huron. So it's a city that is definitely not a poor city, but it's the wages, right? And it's also a city with 51% park deficiency. So the way we see this opportunity, it's something that 9 years ago, I started observing off of the State Route 269, and it looked like a little forest. I recall a long time ago where we had a meeting when I was with a policy institute with natural conservation institutions about taking youngsters from the community to the forest. My thought was, why can't we bring the forest to the community? You know, now it's kind of a sexy thing, right, where we're planting trees and so forth. But I think this is an opportunity long overdue for the hardworking farm worker communities like Huron on the west side. You know, 3 of the top poorest cities in the state of California happen to be in Fresno County, the county that has been back-to-back the highest ag revenue county in the country. So, you know, I think this would be a really good positive nod in respect to the hardworking families so that they could have the green space to be able to improve physical and mental health, access to jobs for their kids, for themselves, to build trails, to take out the invasive species, to plant native species, right? Creating this conservation for the sensitive and the endangered species like the Swainson hawk, burrowing owl, you know, spadefoot toad, right? It's just a huge gem that is also one that would help us in the battle against climate change, climate warming. Over 10,000 trees would be able to fit in this 3,000 acre, probably tens of thousands of trees, 3,000 acres, right? That's a lot of carbon sequestration. I think that's the best way to sequester carbon, right? And build jobs in the process. For a community that is being surrounded by low-intensive labor operations such as orchards of almonds and pistachios, and now solar parks. 1,000 acres of a solar park is 50 jobs on the farm that will be no more, 200 jobs off the farm that will be no more, right? So as a mayor, And that's my hometown where my father arrived in 1951 as an undocumented 14-year-old orphan from Michoacan. And there we are still, right? And so it's kind of an anxiety seeing all these developments happening, which I fought for earlier in the 2000s, coming to these hearings, fighting for all the right policies. But we need to make sure that we are able to match it up with these other opportunities that we provide farm worker families, adults, and youth alike the opportunity to transition, right? And so I'm here to hopefully gain your favor, your support to be able to move this forward and make this happen. I think this is going to be the first nature conservancy probably for our EJ community of farm worker families on the within the San Joaquin Valley or probably the state. I think this will be a good victory, that something you guys could champion. And I stand with you and want to work with you along with my good friend, the Assemblywoman Esmeralda Soria, to make it happen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any persons in the hearing room in support of this measure? Any persons in opposition to this measure? Beautiful. We'll turn it back to committee members. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Move the bill.
We have a motion by Ms. Peller and a second by Mr. Zabur. Assemblyman, would you like to close?
I just respectfully ask for an aye vote. The only thing I did want to just mention is that this idea was really born from conversations with community residents in my area, and then also learning about the process during the negotiation of Prop 4 and how conservancies have come into play and play a critical role can play a critical role in disadvantaged communities. And so I'm grateful for this opportunity to present this bill, and so I respectfully ask for an aye vote today.